So, the last time we did this video, I left off at the clown. I took a break from doing these videos, but I'm coming back, and we're going to be doing these videos again. So we're talking about the killer add-on guides. Alright. So what we're going to be looking at is the add-ons for killers, and we're going to be rating what you should prioritize and how strong they actually are. You'll have to excuse me, I do feel like walking around a little bit, so I'm not going to be like sitting in the chair for this one as much. I just ate, and I'm kind of like... So when we look at the clown, you have to understand the clown's power. So basically, he has bottles, and when he throws at survivors, and when he throws the bottle at you and it breaks, it emits an area of effect that survivors have reduced vision, they are slowed, and they begin... they give away their position. For about 2 seconds. So what do we have for add-ons? So, for your brown add-ons, we have the fingerless gloves. These decrease the reload time. This is a solid add-up, because one of the biggest things that the clown has is he's like a huntress, where he needs to reload his power sometimes in the middle of a chase. So this add-on does help with that. And it's a cheap add-on. The thing with the clown, though, is more often than not, if you're a smart clown, you're going to use your bottles strategically to cut off survivors, rather than to just immediately, like, oh, I must down them in the cloud. No. You use it more to cut off choke points, so you can reload in between rounds. You basically need to view encounters with the clown as kind of like a fighting game, where you're reloading in between rounds of the fight, rather than simply, oh, I have to reload right away. But it's a solid add-on. You have the Robin Feathers, so this decreases cooldown between throws. Basically, you throw your bottles a little bit faster. You have the Smelly Inner Souls. Yeah, by the way, the clown has some ridiculous names for add-ons, as we're going to get to in a little bit. And if you know Dead by Daylight and you know clown offerings, you know what I'm talking about. But we'll get there. We'll get there together. Don't worry. So this one increases movement speed while reloading. This, in my opinion, is a better add-on than the reload time. Because decreasing the reload is great, but sometimes you're slow. I mean, you are a big, fat, fucking clown. And even though he moves pretty fast in-game, when you're reloading, you don't feel that way. So I actually prefer the movement speed while reloading, so I can reload in a chase better. And the last add-on is the Ether 5 volume percent. And that is how I'm calling it, because that is how it is said. It is the Ether 5 vol percent. Okay, I'm not going to read that as 5 volume content ether, because that's how a normal person would say it, but that's not how the game says it. This increases the intoxication duration. Yeah, there's a word play you weren't expecting to hear today. It's like a bad Schoolhouse Rocks episode. Intoxication duration. Okay, I'll stop now. Basically, this means that the effect lasts a little bit longer. These are all solid add-ons. All of these are valuable. The thing with the clown is it mostly comes down to aim, so it doesn't necessarily require, for his power to be useful, it doesn't really require these add-ons. These are mostly things that you use to buff up downtime. A slightly longer duration means you can hit better survivors, because you have a larger window to hit them. The decrease in reload time and the movement speed while reloading, these are conveniences that let you throw bottles faster, basically. And obviously, the reduced cooldown between throws just means if you miss your first one, you recover with your second one easier. So all of these are solid percentage changes. These are things you can get. For yellow add-ons, we have the Thick Cork Stopper. This is also known as the Bottle Butt Plug. I mean, seriously, that's what the add-on basically is. Basically, this decreases your reload time. It is a significant improvement over the brown one, but I would not recommend running this. I would just recommend the brown one. It's cheaper, it applies the same effect. The next thing that we have is the Sticky Soda Bottle. This enables you to have an extra bottle. If I remember correctly, the clown has either 4 or 5 bottles, so this ups it to 5 or... I think it's 4 bottles by default, and this ups it to 5. This is one of the best add-ons in the game, because a lot of survivors are never really sure how many bottles you have as the clown. I actually prefer having the extra bottles over the reload time. It's better that you miss with one and have another one ready to go, because you can surprise survivors with it. So this is your priority. The Starling Feather, this decreases cooldown between throws. This is a much more significant bonus than the brown one. Again, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this. I think a lot of his higher up ones are actually stronger, but this is a helpful add-on. Again, it's a nice percentage bonus. The Solvent Jug. Oh god. This is an evil add-on. So, survivors are hit with the exhausted effect for 30 seconds. Now, the Clown is actually one of the best characters in the game for cutting off exhaustion perks. He can wreak havoc on good survivors by taking away lift, balance landing, sprint burst, dead hard. And the thing is, if he uses this on you... God, I sound like the Clown in game now. I'm the Clown. This is evil. If he uses this on you before he gets the first hit, it is going to prevent you from using Dead Hard. If same thing with balance landing, with lift, with sprint burst. If he's able to use this add-on effectively before you take damage, 9 times out of 10, you're fucked. And the sad part is, you don't get this big notification on your screen. It's a very subtle pop-up on your screen that comes up on the side of the screen. You are now exhausted. And you kind of don't realize it until you're spamming X, going, why is my Dead Hard not working? Why is my Dead Hard not working? And then you realize that, oh, yeah, I'm exhausted. The kerosene can is a nice add-on. So this is blindness for 30 seconds on an intoxicated target. It's strong. Anytime you can get a blindness effect in the middle of a chase is helpful. It's not that strong, though, compared to the exhaustion. Because as the Clown, you're going to be using your power to cut off and end chases. So taking away the exhaustion is stronger than the blindness effect. Not to mention the fact that blindness ticks down right away. And exhaustion does not. Exhaustion stays with you until you stop running. Alright, let the cringe begin. So now we're on to the green add-ons. VHS porn. So this increases your movement speed while reloading your bottles. This is one of the stronger add-ons, at least for me. Because, like I said, I like having that movement speed while reloading. Because even though it may take me longer to reload, having that movement speed means I can keep pace with someone in a chase. So it's a solid add-on. The sulfuric acid vial. Alright, so intoxicated targets now suffer from the mangled effect for 120 seconds. Personally, I don't like this add-on. I don't think the Doctor benefits from it from mangled effects. I mean the Clown, sorry. I don't think the Clown benefits from the mangled effects. I think you're better off running the blindness and the exhaustion, to be honest. The thing with the Clown is survivors don't really benefit too much from healing right away. Especially when you have something like Chlorophobia, or if you're running something like Sloppy Butcher. These are better. It's better to run that than a 5,000 priced add-on that only lasts for 2 minutes if you hit the bottle. I just prefer a much more reliable option than this. The rest of the green add-ons are pretty solid. So you have the Flask of Bleach. This adds an extra hindered penalty. Now remember that you're already going up against a 115 killer, and you're slowed by 15%. This adds an additional 15... God damn. An extra 15% penalty. This is basically a guaranteed hit. So, to put it politely, the Flask of Bleach add-on should just be called free hit in a bottle. Anytime someone runs into a cloud, they're gonna get hit. It is just that severe of a penalty. It's a guaranteed hit. And if you combo that with the exhaustion, you have a 1-2 punch that removes any form of escape for the survivors, if they're in the bottle. Ether 10 volume percent increases the intoxication duration. Again, not a guaranteed add-on. Not an add-on that's going to guarantee you a hit, but it is solid and effective. It's one of those things that if you have difficulty against certain types of loops, for example, Killer Shack loops, survivors, the clown is designed to cut off certain types of loops, like Killer Shacks and Infinites. But even then, good survivors can still loop you. This kind of makes it harder for them to do that, but there are better add-ons. Like I said, Flask of Bleach is one of your stronger ones. A Sticky Soda Bottle. Anything with exhaustion or movement speed while reloading. These are good low-level things you can purchase. The Ball of Chloroform, this expands the area of effect. This, in my opinion, is better because it means you can hit more survivors by accident and it opens up your choices when chasing someone. You know, maybe you go after a Blendette that you didn't know was hiding around the pallet waiting to stun you. Maybe you go for them because now you know that they're there as opposed to going for the person that you just downed or going for a person that you just injured. It's not really a good requirement though once you aim. I would say once you know how to aim your bottles, both the duration and the increased area add-ons are a bit redundant. Moving on to purple, we have the Garish Makeup Kit. This expands the area of effect and it causes the gas to last longer. This is pretty much the add-on that you want to run if you're trying to proxy camp. So a great example is on maps like Coldwind, like Fractured Cowshed, where you can potentially stand on a tractor or a hill and throw bottles down periodically on a survivor who's on a hook to prevent them from getting off without you knowing about it. Other than that, there's no real effect to this. You're going to be using your bottles to end chases quickly. And that's going to give you a stronger benefit than, oh, it's a bigger cloud and it lasts longer. It's like bigger and better doesn't always last longer because what you want to do is end chases quickly. Again, we have the Ether 15 vol percent. This considerably increases the duration. Like I said, this is not a good add-on. I would not recommend purchasing this add-on in particular. This is one of the high-priced ones because the increase in the duration, I believe, is an additional 3 seconds. If you need a survivor to be hindered for 15% for 5 seconds before you can land a hit, you should not be playing the clown. You need to reevaluate how you are playing the clown and get better. This is the thing that I tell people a lot of times. Yes, certain add-ons are helpful, but if you need an add-on like this in order to confirm a hit or a kill, you need to get better with the character instead of relying on the add-on to save you. If you need 5 seconds of a target basically moving at crouch walk speed to get a kill, you're in trouble. You have the Cigar Box. This slightly increases... This is a shit add-on as well. Most of his purple add-ons are shit, other than the last one we're going to cover. The Cigar Box here, so it increases the area of effect. And it increases the blurred vision effect that survivors in the cloud have. Now, this can be helpful on certain areas of maps where... For example, the swamp, if you're near the edges of the map where survivors really aren't sure, you know, if the log that they're running into has a vault location on it or if they're running into a dead end. But in certain situations, like the basement, where there's only one way up, and they know what way it is. They just go up. It's not really useful. I would say this add-on is an improvement over the bottle of chloroform, because even though the bottle of chloroform is a larger area of effect, this adds an additional benefit to it. So I would take the additional benefit over the bottle of chloroform. But again, realistically, it's not that helpful. The one purple item that you should buy as much as possible is the cheap gin bottle. So this gives you an extra 2 bottles. And that's a very important when we talk about his 2 ebony add-ons, which are powerful, but for different reasons. The cheap gin bottle is one of the best add-ons he has. Again, having extra bottles lets you mind game survivors that like, oh, I'm a clown player, I know how many bottles he has. And they're trying to keep count in the middle of a chase and say, oh, I can make him reload and I'm going to use that time to get away and get distance. Having those extra 2 bottles means no, you're not getting away. You're going to die trying. So the first one that we have is the tattoo middle finger. So the aura of intoxicated survivors are revealed to you for 6 seconds. Now, this is not a good add-on in my opinion. If you are throwing a bottle, you're already getting a notification where that survivor is. Now, it's possible they can, you know, creep out of it. They can urban evasion their way out, and they have no real need for this. This isn't a strong add-on. It does work well with things that increase the area of effect, or that increase the duration, because it means every time they re-trigger it, they get the aura reveal, goes off for another 6 seconds. But the aura reveal is not that strong, because of the fact you already know where they are. They scream and give away their position when they get intoxicated. And they're slow. Again, this is another hand-holding thing like the Ether 15. If you need this much help, maybe you shouldn't be playing the clown. Now, I talked about the cheap gin bottle and the sticky soda bottle, where you really need those extra bottles, is for the redhead's pinky finger. So, the redhead pinky finger changes how the clown plays. Because instead of trying to hit survivors with the area of effect of the bottle, you need to directly hit the survivor, and if you do, they become exposed. So, hitting a survivor with the actual bottle makes it possible to one-shot them. Now, at mid to long range, you're not going to be doing this. At mid to long range, you're going to throw the bottle to try and find them. Then you're going to get closer and throw the bottle in their face. A lot of people are like, oh, yeah, that's why you want to run the intoxicated survivors have their aura revealed, so you can know exactly where they're going. You don't need 2 ebony add-ons for that. So all in all, for the clown, just to give a short summation as to what you need, redhead pinky finger is always your option there. Go for the cheap gin bottle. Go for the flask of bleach, VHS porn, the kerosene can, the solvent jug, the soda sticky bottle, and any of the brown ones. Because even though I said all of the brown ones are pretty mundane and they only give you slight stat bonuses, they're still cheap. And they will help you. 3,000 blood points for a percentage gain for one game is pretty good. Because you gotta understand, so the difference between 3,000 for a slight increase in the duration versus 6,000 for a considerable effect of the duration. So basically it's an extra 2 seconds, and that costs you 3,000 blood points. That's not a good deal in game. The next killer that we're going to cover is going to be the Spirit. She's going to be the last killer we cover today, and that's because the Spirit takes a little bit longer to explain her add-ons. So, the thing you got to understand with the Spirit is her most powerful add-ons are all of her high-level add-ons. So everything green and up is good. Every single one. Everything that is green or above gives her a massive benefit. There are some that are less than others, so there's going to be a clear divide here. So we're going to explain the brown and yellow ones and what they do, and then we're going to show you why you want to go for the more expensive version. Because the way the Spirit's power works is she has to charge up her little T-Rex pose, which leaves behind a husk, and it lets her ghost walk around the map within the physical confines. And all she can see are scratch marks. But the thing is, she can only use her power when it's fully charged. So we're going to be talking about that specifically. So let's look. So you have Zora. This increases Yamoka Haunting movement speed. So it means when she's in her little ghost walk, she moves faster. I'm not going to try and pronounce that, the Amulet. This increases the duration, so she can use her power longer. The Origami Crane increases the power recovery. This means that she recovers from using her ability faster. And the Gifted Bamboo Comb increases the charge time. This means that you go into your power faster. We have the White Hair Ribbon. That's an upgrade, increases the charge speed. Rin's Broken Watch increases recovery power. The Muddy Sports Day Cap. This increases movement speed. The Talisman increases the haunting duration, so you can use it more. This is the one that I needed to explain. This is a subtle one. This is the Juniper Bonsai. So this increases the frequency of passive phasing. Now the thing with the Spirit, if you look at her on screen right now, how she does these little twitchy things, that is a passive ability she has called phasing, passive phasing. So survivors see her not necessarily in the running animation, but they make it look like she's just coming out of her power. Or if she's standing still, it makes it look like she's a husk more easily. So this adds a layer of mind game to the survivors to make them think, okay, excuse me, make them think, okay, she's in Yamoka's, when in fact she's not. So when you look at the green ones, these are the best percentage increases you can get. Considerably increases the recovery speed power, considerably increases the duration, slightly increases the reappearance duration, and slightly increases the movement speed. What this means is that she gets a movement speed bonus when she gets a, for 1 second after coming out of her power, she gets a 1 second speed boost. This increases that duration, and it increases how fast she moves in that duration. This increases the movement speed, this increases the charge time. All of these are very strong, and these are the things you want to get. Any of the yellow or the brown add-ons that you get realistically don't matter, because the percentage changes damn. The percentage changes that they offer aren't as strong as the green ones. And she's a killer that lives or dies by her add-ons. So now we go to the purple ones. There's a few different ones. So this one, again, this is the upgraded version of the green one, where this increases the duration and the movement speed when coming out of Yomokas. This is one that increases the phasing duration and the frequency of it. So this lets her mind game a bit better. This one increases both the duration and the movement speed and the recovery speed. This is one of our strongest because it's an all-around improvement. But we're going to talk about the 3 overpowered add-ons, right? These are the things that you see in the Blood Web and you immediately grab. So everything that I just said here, while these are all good percentage change add-ons, they don't really change how she plays. They just give her stat bonuses. These 3 change how she plays. So one of the ebonies that she has is the mother-daughter ring. Now, this takes away one of her biggest advantages, which is while in Yomoka's haunting, she sees scratch marks. Well, not anymore. Now, you don't get any scratch marks. You don't get any scratch marks, you don't get to see anything. So the only thing you get to see is blood on the ground. And you get to hear shit. However, it tremendously increases the movement speed. Let me put it to you this way. With this add-on, you can traverse some of the larger maps in one haunting. It is fast. This lets you cover ground tremendously. It essentially turns Yomoka Haunting into a chainsaw sprint from a hillbilly. It is that quick. So to compensate, there's another one. The Father's Glasses. This makes survivor blood trails visible while using Yomoka's Haunting. Now, I already said that you can see blood in Yomoka's Haunting. So this add-on makes me look like a liar. That's not true. You can see pools of blood on the ground, but they're not, like, highlighted. This add-on makes them glow bright. And it's it is an actual trail. So normally you see little puddles of blood that are kind of dark, and depending on the map, you won't be able to see it. This add-on says, wait, the survivors think they can hide in tall grass while bleeding? Oh, fuck no. This is a yellow highlighter behind the survivor's bleeding ass when you're in Yomoka Haunting. It's insane. The last one, and I reserved talking about this one for last. This is how you do Gen Grabber Spirit, for people that don't know. This is actually her strongest add-on in the game. Not any of the ebonies, which change how she plays. No, no. It is actually a purple. Prayer beads. This removes the sound when she's in Yomoka. Now, generally, most survivors know a spirit is in the game because as soon as the spirit spawns into the game, generally she goes straight into Yomoka's Haunting. And survivors hear that sound effect. And they go, whoop, it's a spirit! This basically lets her get a leg up. Because there's no sound, it means she can fake you into thinking she's in Yomoka, which is an extra mind game in and of itself. It means you can be working on a gen, not realize you're going up against a spirit, and then all of a sudden she's grabbing you off a gen because she's been behind you this whole time in Yomoka's Haunting, laughing at you. And then yanked you off a gen and puts you on a hook. This is the single greatest add-on that she has. So, I said Spirit was going to take a long time. I think I overestimated myself, because realistically, she only has 3 add-ons that change how she plays. Unlike other killers where they have, like, percentage changes. All of her add-ons but 3 are percentage changes. And they affect how she plays quite a bit. For example, if you decide to run green movement speed with yellow recovery speed, it means that you're going to be using your power less often, but you're going to be covering more ground when you do. If you're able to flip it, where you have yellow movement speed, but green recovery, it means you're going to be using Yamoka more often, but you're covering less ground when you use it. And it doesn't really change anything, because the amount of ground that you cover is still the same. It's just you have to use Yamokas more often with one, whereas you just stay in Yamokas less with the other one. So, that's why all of her stat changes, you're better off getting the purple or the green version if you can. Because then you don't really have to choose between this or that. You can go with this or you can go with that. You don't have to have that battle or that copyright infringement. You can just go into it. There's only 3 that change her playstyle. So once you know what the playstyles are, Gen Grabber, Survivor Hemorrhoids, and Fast as Fuckboy, you know those are your 3 general builds, and everything else is just, I'm a better version of the Spirit. Anyways, thanks for watching.